Hey, it's me, the Nate is back, with part 2 of my puppet collection overview. The first part has proven to be quite popular, and since then my armada of creatures has been ever expanding. As such, I've gotten numerous requests to cover the new puppets I've added to the collection, something I've long been meaning to do. So without further ado, let's get started. First up is the dragon, and it's got a lot of personality. Check out its toothy grin. What's funny about this puppet is that it actually comes in 3 parts. A head, a body, and this little piece of cloth that acts as a neck. It's a little cumbersome to set up, but it works. I love the sculpting on this guy, with many small details that give it an authentic, lifelike look. Everywhere besides the neck, that is. The tail has a metal wire inside of it for posability, which is a cool feature. The beard is an interesting design choice, although I don't know how I feel about the hair we got downstairs. Also, where the heck are the wings? Next is the black Spinosaurus, which I just think looks really mean. Like, this guy doesn't just want to kill you, he wants to make you suffer! Look at those eyes, so angry. I really like the colors too, they're very unique. The arms could be better though. But all in all, this is a fantastic looking puppet. Here it is compared to my other Spino. Which do you like better? Unfortunately, it still has the same problem of not having enough room for my arm without a little help. Here's one that hasn't appeared in a film yet, the shark. You may have seen a certain other YouTube channel with something similar, but I'll tell you what this one does better, it's got an actual body. But yeah, jokes aside, I do appreciate puppets that come with full bodies like this. It really gives it more life and makes it feel more complete. It's a little flimsy, but I guess that's okay. Maybe I could use that to simulate some swimming motion. The chomp action on this guy is really satisfying. Just look at him. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Yeah, I need to do a shark attack movie soon. It's on my list. Now this puppet here comes from the same company that made the shark. And again, it's nice to see a full body. That's a luxury my last crocodile puppet didn't have. Here's a quick comparison. Having the rest of the body really just gives you a lot more freedom with what you can do with it in a film. So you're not just limited to close-ups all the time. Plus, just think about what you can do with this tail. One hit from this and you're a goner. Like the shark, the crocodile can be a little flimsy, but again, this flexibility could help with some dynamic and lifelike motion, as long as you don't bend it at too odd an angle. Now, let's take a look at the most frightening monster in all of no-budget films. I know it, you know it, that's right. It's the chicken. I love this one because it gives you several puppeteering options. You can operate the mouth like you'd expect, but also you can stick your hands into its wings, which work like gloves. And the end result is pretty great. Only problem is I don't have 3 arms, so I can only control 2 appendages at a time. But oh well. The chicken is made of a light and soft plush material, making it one of the easiest to handle and take with you anywhere. And seriously, it's so soft you'll want to use it as a pillow. While we're on the topic of chickens, we may as well have a quick look at this guy. It appeared in one thing on my channel, but I guess that's enough to land at a spot in no budget films history. This is one of the few marionette or string puppets that I've got, and unfortunately this thing makes no effort to hide those strings, so that's kind of a con for me. I mean, I know I'm not fooling anyone into thinking this is a real chicken, but still, I like having the strings be a bit less conspicuous as a personal preference. I like the way the puppet moves though. You can make it walk around, peck things, or jump in surprise. It's good fun. Okay, now we're on to our first custom one. The one, the only, the giant, extra-dimensional invader, Terragnus. If you're interested to see how I made this one, there's a making of video you can find on my channel. I'll link it in the description below. Long story short though, it's a PVC pipe and metal wire skeleton layered with generous amounts of paper and tape, plus a papier-mâché outer skin. This guy is big, and heavy too. It's a bit on the stiff side since most of it is just one solid piece, but it does have articulation in the jaws, neck, and tail. The joints are made of cloth. The tail might be one of my favorite parts because of how it's segmented, although I'm really proud of that mouth too. Unquestionably one of the most iconic aspects of the creature. The mouth does have this problem where once you open it, it's hard to close it back up without misaligning all the teeth. I'm not sure why that happens, but I'm working on it. Oh, and I can't go without mentioning that the tongue is made from the middle finger of a glove, so whenever the Terragnus opens its mouth at you, it's actually flipping you off. Alright, back to dinosaurs. Here we have the Allosaurus, and yes, I still stand by that assessment, despite the many debates I've seen about it in the comments. I'd say this is one of my more visually striking dinosaur puppets due to its size and nice coloration. The crests really draw the eye. And speaking of eyes, check this out. Loving the detail. The whole entire thing really has a ton of good details on it, like it actually looks like a real creature to me. Like I mentioned in my unboxing video, the design of the Allosaurus' body is literally 1-to-1 with the Puppet Toys T-Rex's. Scale for scale, the same. And while this might mean my Allosaurus could be some kind of knockoff, at least it's, a pretty good knockoff. I will dock it some points for being stiff though. The Puppet Toys products are noticeably much softer and easier to handle, while this one kinda doesn't want to move as much. You're definitely not gonna get the same range of motion out of it, from the head at least. The legs still swivel like normal though. Now for our other custom creation, despair and negativity incarnate, the dreaded Gloomling. Part puppet, part costume, this creature takes the cake as our biggest prop yet. Or maybe not? As you can see, most of it's just cloth, so it can actually be pretty compact. If you're wondering how the Gloomling is operated, basically it's like this. Neat, right? The head was built similarly to how the Terragnus was built, with an inner skeleton of metal wires covered in tape and paper mache, but it also has cloth cheeks, clay gums, and some nice pearly whites. Who knew you could order human teeth from Amazon? But probably the most striking feature of the Gloomling would have to be its glowing white eyes. I achieved this using small LED lights that you can turn on and off by spinning this knob like so. The lights themselves are strapped in pretty tight, so it would be a pain to replace them. But luckily, I made it so the batteries are easy to swap out. Also, check out the neck. It's got 3 metal rings inside to keep it in shape, and early on I figured out it can work kinda like a slinky. This makes for some good jump scare potential. The neck is super flexible and just fun to operate. You cannot hide from this thing, it can spot you no matter which way it's facing. And that brings us to our final puppet of the day, the newest addition to the collection, the Yutyrannus. The second I saw this online, I just couldn't resist. I mean, look at it, it's fluffy! I think we've been overdue for a feathered dinosaur puppet on this channel, but apparently nobody makes them. Nobody but HANSA, I guess. So it's cool to be able to take our dinosaur accuracy to the next level, even though some of you dino nerds might notice the wrists are still very much pronated. But I will praise the arms for the ability to be puppeteered, which adds a whole new dimension of expressiveness. If I had to describe this puppet in one word, it'd be expressive. It's a plush toy, so it's incredibly soft and lightweight, perfect for quick and lifelike movements. And in terms of appearance, I really have no complaints. It looks like a real animal. Like when I first opened up the packaging, my first thought was, wow, that's a real animal in there. For a fluffy creature, plush material was really the way to go. Love the way it feels. Once you have it in your hands, you can't help but give it a cuddle. Of course, no puppet is perfect, not even this one. The one thing holding back the Yutyrannus is the fact that you can't puppeteer the jaws. That's a big letdown. Every other dino puppet has this feature, even the chicken has it. I feel like it's such a missed opportunity to make this already expressive puppet into something perfect. Without movable jaws, the head just sort of swings around uselessly, and that's kind of a shame. Sure, I could try to modify it, but this was a $50 puppet, and I don't know if I want to risk screwing it up. Well, that more or less wraps up the update on the collection. To close things out, here's everything all together so you can get a sense of how they compare in terms of size. Thank you all for watching, and if you made it this far, you're a legend. Which puppet was your favorite? Which ones would you like to see more of in future videos? Be sure to let me know in the comments. With that, this is Great98 signing off.